Community Viewpoint with John Pawlak and Maria Hurst.
And welcome once again to Community Viewpoint. I'm John Pawlak, your host for this segment, and the next segment, and the next segment, and the next segment. So, anyway, we have Susan Holecheck with us today, the former town manager, our last town manager. Maybe the last, who knows? No, hopefully the town will come back one of these days. Yes. Susan is with a company, Nathan Adelson Hospice. I don't want to call it a company.
Right.
They deal with
we have
end of life.
Yes, they're end of life issues, and we have a hospice program and what we call a palliative program.
Mm-hmm. And today we're going to be talking about a special class for CEU credits, presented by Nathan Adelson, if you want to enlighten us on that.
I'd love to be able to do that, because we're finding out there's some real interest in the community, not just with clinical people, but varying aspects of all age groups. And somebody once said that we shouldn't really talk about death, because then maybe death might take notice of us somehow or whatever. But the reality is, with even religion aside, death is a destination that we're all going to share.
And that's the topic, which is
that's the topic of this upcoming seminar, Mastering the Difficult Conversation About Death, because we at Nathan Adelson, we want to have not only the individual that's suffering, but the family and friends who may also be suffering as well, become at ease with the process. And I said to John before we started, for some reason death is such a taboo topic. None of us wants to talk about it, and sometimes we actually don't talk about it until it's too late, right? And so this seminar is, how do you begin those conversations? You know, there's timing, there's the environment, finding out what people want to know, how much they want to know. But anyway, the hospital has been wonderful. We are going to be having this seminar on August the 6th. It's going to be from 12 to 2. As John said, there's educational credits for our clinical, but the community is invited. If you would like to come and hear this, please call me. I'm going to be ordering food. I'm going to be bringing in lunch. So I really need to hear who all is going to be attending. But this is, I think, a great seminar for all of us. And even if you can't make this date, if there's a group that you're associated with and you want us to come back and have this conversation again, we can, because we really, and let me just take a minute. Brad Garrett says it better than I. But he says we prepare for people coming into this world. We have baby showers, and we think about names, and we paint the room, and we buy toys. But we don't have that same preparation for someone going out. And we really should. So that's why we want to talk about this.
With some of us, seeing death, being part of that death, sometimes we're able to make our way through that and stay the same we were prior to that. Some of us are changed forever. Sometimes it's called PTSD. I had a very good friend of mine in the steel industry. He died in my arms, and it was an industrial accident, and it could have been stopped, but I had no way of stopping. I saw it happening in front of me. So luckily I didn't have any after effect, except for the fact that I say a prayer occasionally for him, his soul. But some of us we can't talk about those things, and we change psychologically sometimes, and sometimes physically too. But this would be a good program for that.
And I think you bring up a very important point, is that if we can begin these conversations earlier, as I say, it helps people with the grieving process, right? If you can talk about some of this, you may hear us talk about something called 5 wishes, where we try and get you to put down those wishes on paper. We also try and encourage people to write in what we call a memory book, which I have, which has various times in your life, and to write down those things that happened so that future generations and your family can know those stories that were important to you that you may not be here to tell anymore. So I couldn't agree with you more, John. I think if we start to talk about these things a little bit earlier, it will help with the grieving process.
And
So.
to know that there's somewhere that you can do that, it helps also. When I worked with Westcare, a lot of times the counselors, we have a lot. When I was with them, we had a lot to deal with the clients that came in, and who do the counselors have to speak to, amongst themselves, and who are you gonna talk to? The bartender?
Right.
I'll tell you anything you want to know. But.
Well, and good example of that is people who we obviously have social workers and chaplains who deal with these issues from day to day, but let's look at it from look at the fire department. Those individuals, men and women, face death every single day. And yes, we need to ensure that they always have avenues available to them to work through that process as well. And we always encourage our nurses to work through the process. When you are surrounded by end-of-life issues, it is very impactful, very impactful.
And sometimes pride gets in our way also, that I can take it, I'm okay, but sometimes you're not okay.
You're not, and that, again, is part of grieving. Some people grieve right away. Some people, there's a delayed reaction. Some people, they work through anger first, and then the sadness comes. So there's all different aspects to grieving, but it's just basically letting people know that it's okay to start these conversations early. It's there's absolutely no evidence to prove that if you talk about this stuff earlier, it kills hope. Hope is within all of us, and talking about it is not going to kill it.
Right. So this is happening when?
So this is going to be August the 6th, and it's from 12 to 2. As I say, the hospital was so wonderful in letting us use their conference room. I'm going to bring in sandwiches or whatever, and we just hope that we have people show up. Believe it or not, I've already had some RSVPs, and as I say, I'm being repetitive here, but it was originally targeted for our social workers and perhaps our nurses to get credit, but we've just realized this is a topic that's so important.
Yeah, you can go reach out to the Sheriff's Department, the Fire Department, Search and Rescue, counselors too, like that I dealt
Absolutely.
with. Yes.
Absolutely.
The court system. Oh my God. As the judge. Yes. Yes.
That's right.
So that'll be RSVP hopefully by August 4th to Susan.
Yes.
And we had your number down there.
I think so. There it is.
Yes, he does that very well.
There it is. So yes, call me. I know it's coming up pretty quickly. We're not giving people a lot of notice, and as I say, it's summertime, so we do realize people are out, but we can do this program again.
Yes, and Nathan Adelson, you do other things too, don't you?
We do a lot.
You do something with butterflies during the year?
We do the butterfly, we do the Candle for Life, which is coming up in November in memory of people, and the big is Festival of Trees in December.
Well, that's
and we have a golf tournament in September.
Okay, well, you'll be here again a couple more times. Yes.
Yes.
So.
Thank you, though, John, for letting me come on and talk about something like this. It's just so important. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. But remember that they've moved, because you remember they were on 160 for a while. Now you're back around the corner.
Yes, we're on commercial, and somebody just said this the other day. Nathan Adelson has been in Pahrump for 15 years. We were the first hospice here, so we've been a long-time partner of Pahrump. So we want to continue partnering with you. So.
Yes, so we guess what? We have like 4 minutes to go yet. What would you like to talk about?
Well, let's talk about a little bit about some of the activities, because when we talk about Nathan Adelson, we are a not-for-profit. John and I have talked about this before, and what that means is, regardless of anybody's ability to pay, we want to make certain that they're cared for. And last year we gave over $1 million in uncompensated care. So that's very important. But the way we're able to do that is oftentimes through these events. So as I say, we have a golf outing coming up on September the 11th at Mountain Falls. We'd love to have people play golf. Then again, if you just want to sponsor a team, that's fine. And then the big thing is the Festival of Trees, and we would love to see people come out. And we're actually going to throw a new thing in this year, and we might even have beautiful decorated stockings filled with gift cards and things like that. Because sometimes people say, "Oh, I bought a tree. I can't afford to buy another tree." So we're coming up with something different. So these are all fundraisers that help us.
Just like I work for the coalition. I'm not a volunteer anymore. So I've been in AmeriCorps for 4 years, and my tour of duty was just up like 2 days ago. So I'm a regular employee for the coalition now. So
I know, and I bet they're thrilled to death to have you.
Yeah, I just got the master key, so responsibility just hit me too.
There you go. But not the paychecks.
It's better than AmeriCorps, believe me. But
that's good.
Yeah, it's a non-for-profit also.
Right.
And we live and work on grants.
Yes.
And then also the goodness of people's hearts too. We take in different things for different people. I think the fellow in the control room came from the coalition too at one time.
Really?
Noah? Yeah.
This community is so blessed to have the coalition here. I don't know that people realize everything the coalition does for our youth, our adults, and our seniors. They cover all the bases and all the age groups. It's wonderful.
Oh, they got me covered. I'm one of those seniors. Yes.
Well, me too.
So anyway, Thursday, August 6th, from 12 to 2, lunch will be available from 12 to 12:30. Speaker is Cheryl Johnston. Why do I know that name?
You know her because she's one of our social workers, and she is also a veteran, which is just great because she can actually help our veterans with veteran issues because she herself is a veteran.
Okay.
So it's good. We're very lucky, and we also have our chaplain will probably be there as well. We have a fairly new chaplain, Drake.
Okay.
And he's here full time, and so they'll both probably be there to help with questions on the topic of death.
Okay, so Nathan Adelson's got an invite to come to this. Since you said veterans, we have our stand down coming up October 15th.
Oh, I'm excited. We're going to participate in that. We're thrilled.
It was
we
huge
did that
last year. Yes.
Did you pick a date yet?
Yeah, October 15th. We just did that.
Okay.
The flyers will be coming out shortly. We're just starting the meetings and contacting people. So
good.
The veterans out there, their families will be have a special day on your needs. Hopefully, most of your needs will be met.
It's at Home Depot again?
Yes.
Good.
So,
great crowd last year.
Yes. So the weather will be great, and thank you very much for coming here.
Thank you very, very much.
And we'll see you a couple more times throughout the year for the other events.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, John.
Thank you for watching, and thank you for saying hi whenever you're in Smith's or whatever. Then you say you remember the show. Thank you.
That's right.
Bye-bye.